An average email reader spends only 8 seconds with your email, according to the latest research of Litmus, and 1/3 of these people, they spend less than 3 seconds to browse your email. So it's not a miracle that in the attention economy, to catch the attention is actually the biggest thing, and how much time they spend to read your email is the second biggest thing when it comes to email marketing. If you stick to the end of this video, I will show you how you can grab the attention of your subscribers with high converting email design, and also how you can make them read and browse through your whole email. So before we jump into email design, I don't want to push anyone that email design is important, everyone has to have it, and that's something you cannot, ignore, because it's simply not true. I can see so many consultants, B2B businesses, even e-commerce businesses crushing it, generating 7, 8, even 9 figures without email design. So why is that? Because there are many industries where email design is just useless. I mean, you can have it, but it's not the main thing. And the business owners, they are usually aware of it, successful business owners. These are the businesses where personal relationship is important, or other typical businesses where the product is not very visual and it's more about a rational buying decision, typically B2B, but there copy and arguing and usually a longer copy format, that's much more important than the design of your email. So if you are in those industries, maybe you should stop watching this video. However, there are those brands, especially in e-commerce, where the product is highly visual, typically fashion and apparel or jewelry brands, or the packaging is visual itself. Many supplement brands, many household items, and many different categories are in this space. So I think for most of them, email design is crucial, and the principles of email design is highly relevant as well. So keep watching this video. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty, let me share a few UX and design principles in email marketing. And since my company, we did website design as well for almost 2 years, I'm aware that it doesn't really matter in the online space where you go. It can be an email, a website, an app, or anything else, but the psychological and the UX principles are still the same on all platforms. So let me share a few with you today. So number one that you should know about, and not many people talk about, how people actually read. So they did many research on this, and they tracked the eye movement of people, and the typical reader follows an F pattern. Basically, a typical reader starts on the top left, or for you it's more here, and then they read the whole first line, and then they read the second but not the whole line, and then they read less and less in each line. So this is why it's called like an F pattern, and you should be aware of this. So you want to put the most important thing on the top left of your email. So the second principle is cognitive load. What this really means, so ideally you want to have only one goal with your email, because if an average reader spends only a few seconds on it, then they have to be able to grasp the main thing of your email just in a few seconds. You don't want to overstuff your email with multiple things. For example, you can use icons instead of bullet points, because it's just easier to digest the information in that way. But still the main thing, so only put one simple thing, one simple call to action into your email. And the third big principle is, so this is such a common topic, but still so many people and companies, they just don't do this thing. So be mobile first, because nowadays in e-commerce, 80% of people, they open your email on mobile first. And yes, many of them, they will buy later on desktop, but still the first experience happens on mobile for 80% of people. And nowadays, email platforms, they are smart. So when you edit your email, you can change to mobile view, and you can build your email in mobile, and later on you can you can switch to desktop and you can change your email as well. But you always want to go mobile first, and build your email creative for mobile first. So after these principles, let me share my 2 favorite email layouts with you, and you can use these basically in any industries. The first one is called the reverse pyramid. So basically here, following the F pattern thingy, so you want to put a title on the top and then a hero image in the background, and you want to put a call to action below which is narrower than your headline. So that's why it's called a reverse pyramid, because it really directs the eyes of the reader downwards to the call to action. And actually you can multiply this pattern and have this multiple times in your email, but you want to have reverse pyramids. And on the top, highly converting emails, they usually have it. So again, hero image, big headline, and catch the attention of your reader, and then the call to action, which is simple and usually a button. So that's the reverse pyramid. The other one is the zigzag. So this is a kind of mosaic structure, and you want to put one element, usually an image, on the left side, and then the text is next to it on the right side, and one row below you want to just switch the two, and then one row below just switch it again, so it will be the same as it was in the first row. And why you want to do it? Because people's eyes, they will, just go in a zigzag motion, and it works very well to just mix up things and make your email less boring. Other tips for layouts, so feel free to use elements that really directs the eyes of your reader, because that's the main thing. And one of them is using an arrow. In zigzag you can use actual arrows from one row to the next one, and people will just follow that. The other one is, and it's a great tip for pop-ups as well, you want to use the face and the hands of people facing at your main call to action. And I will show you an example. We regularly use this technique in pop-ups. It immediately takes your eyes to the headline, because even that person look at it. It's just somehow instinctive for us humans. If someone looks at something, we want to look at it as well. So you can use this too. So now let's continue with copywriting, and today's topic is email design. So an email typically starts with an offer and the copywriting, and only after we add the design to the email. And this is why a copywriter should be aware of email design principles, because the copy kinda sets the start for the email design as well. So here are my best tips for copywriters if they want to help with email design. So the main goal should be to make the email scannable. And what this really means, so each paragraph should contain maximum 1, maybe 2 sentences and not more. So in this way you can keep it scannable. Again, remember, people, they just spend a few seconds to read your email, so you want to make it scannable. How you can help this experience even further? So feel free to use bolded text, underlines, highlights, and capitalized letters, so different characters. And of course you shouldn't overuse this, so you don't want to be annoying and be the guy who, because it really feels like someone shouting at us, right, if you use too much of these. But you should feel free to use these, because this helps the reader to see the main things in the copy. When it comes to fonts, you don't want to use more than 2 fonts in your email. I really don't like those ones where they use 5 or even more different fonts, because it just makes the whole email messy and it's just harder to read it, to be honest. So use 2 fonts, maybe 3 fonts, you don't need more. And also you don't want to use custom fonts. Why is that? Because many email providers, even Gmail, they don't support these very fancy fonts. So if more than half of your people, they won't actually see those fancy custom fonts, then why you need those? You don't need those, right? So these are the most common fonts that you want to use, and supported by even Gmail and all the major email platforms. So Arial, Courier, Georgia, Lucida Sans, Lucida Console, Tahoma, Times New Roman, Trebuchet, and Verdana. So these ones that you want to use, and everyone will be able to see those. Also, one final tip, so ideally you want to use only one column, especially because of the high ratio of mobile mobile email readers nowadays. The only exception would be the zigzag structure. And now, after copy, let's jump back to images, and I hope this will help designers out there. So when it comes to images, how we usually create them, our designers, they go to Photoshop and then they design the whole email as a column, and then they cut the email into multiple images, and then they go into Klaviyo editor or MailChimp or whatever tool we use for the client, and we just add those, we just drag and drop those image elements into the emails. So in this way, even if one section, one small part of the email, one image doesn't work, hopefully the rest will work and people, they can see the emails. That being said, there are people who don't display images in their email providers. And I know, apart from Gmail, tools such as Outlook, Hotmail or Yahoo, they not always display images. So you have to keep this in mind, and you want to create your email in a way that people, they can still read it and understand your main offer, and they can click the call to action even without any image. So one thing you want to implement is alt text. So for each image you want to enter an alt text, and if the image doesn't display, then people, they can still read the alt text and they understand what the email is about. Another good practice is that you should have at least 3 different types of call to actions. One is the image itself, and one is a underlined or highlighted part of your copy, and the third one is a button. Some people, they are more visual, they will click the image, others, they prefer the button, maybe older people, they will just click the text, but you want to use these 3, so even if images don't display, people, they can still find the call to action. The next thing is your call to action button. So you want to make it big, especially on mobile, because in my experience, people, they are afraid to use too big call to actions. So even many subscribers, they just don't find the actual call to action. But even if it looks ugly, it's fine, because you play for conversion and not being beautiful. So the main thing is just make it big and make it really stand out. And now, talking about click-through rates and conversion, here are my 2 tips. So one is you should use GIFs, because there are not many moving elements in an email, just not really possible. You cannot add videos. However, you can have GIFs, and people love these because these are moving parts of your email, and people, they love clicking GIFs. So you can use them as actual call to action in your email. So try this one out. The other one is you want to add thumbnails of videos. You want to make it similar to a YouTube video. So you want to have a thumbnail with your face or with the product, and you want to add a big, and even if it's ugly, it's fine, play button, because people, they love clicking the play button. It's just our instinct. And now, here are a few recommendations when it comes to size of different elements in your email. Again, you want to make it easy for readers to digest and read, because they spend only a few seconds there. So headline should be at least 20 pixels, and your copy text should be minimum 14 but rather 16 pixels. Also, give your call to action padding. The standard would be 20 pixels. And also make your call to actions easily tappable, at least 44 pixels. So these all for mobile experience, and you want to make people easy to click and buy from you. Hey Budai Nation, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then make sure that you go down and hit the subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so you get updated of my newest videos. And if you go down in the description, I will put a link of our 50-point e-commerce email marketing checklist. That's something we use with our clients as well, and with the help of this, we generated more than $50 million for our clients. So make sure that you go down, you download it and use it for your own e-commerce store. Our mission here is to help at least 1,000 e-commerce stores scale with retention marketing. So thanks for your time, and check out my other videos about e-commerce retention as well. I will put a thumbnail here, and see you in my next video.